everyone, it's Kay here, and as a direct inspiration from the lovely Melissa Hatten, who is not only super crafty but is also a Stampin' Up representative and makes beautiful cards, boxes and that kind of thing to advertise her Stampin' Up goodies. She also does candles. Now, last year I tried to do these candles and I struggled like video to the point where I just thought I'd cracked it, and actually I hadn't, and I ended up throwing things away, which no one likes to do. So here in front of me I've got a selection of things that I am going to attempt to do with you here. If I do botch it up, do go along to Mel's channel. She's a lovely lady, but I know some of my subscribers may not know Mel, so I thought I'd come on and do my little version of things. So what I've got in front of me is some decoupage paper, which as you can see is very, very tissue-like, and I've got two candles here prepared just using festive serviettes like this. They're triple layer, and all you do is cut out the bit that you want and then attach it to the candle. So that's one of the ones I'm using today. I bought more of this decoupage paper because it actually came in a pack like this, and it was £1, and those are all the beautiful designs on them, but the lacy one particularly I really liked, so that's the one I'm going to show you today. But they are really super. And the other serviette I got was this one. Excuse the glare, but I just liked the whole pine cone and the heart affair. I just thought that was really nice. So we will start out on this lovely little adventure. I do hope I get it right. Mel, thank you so much for gifting this to me at this time of year. If I hadn't watched the tutorial, I would not be sat here doing this, I promise. So what I've done is got pillar candles, and as you can see they're box standard, nothing very much about them at all. I've cut out my tissue paper to suit, which I'm going to have to wrap all the way around the candle, like so. And what you do is place it where you want it to ultimately end up. I've then got some greaseproof paper, and it's white. Now, if you've done candle embossing before, this won't mean anything to you because you're already comfortable with the process. What I like about this as opposed to the dark one is that you can actually see as the wax begins to melt and absorb the pattern. It's rather like embossing with embossing powders. So I'm going to wrap my little piece around the candle like so. I'm then going to take my greaseproof paper, and I'm going to try to get a hand grip on this like so. It's better obviously if you don't have any creases or anything like that going on, because then you get a nice smooth finish, and I will probably have to do this over several little stages, so do bear with me. I'm going to have to put the heat gun on obviously, and that you need to get to temperature, but as I'm going along I'd like you to try and see where it actually starts to soak into the candle. Just stop that one running away, and that one, oh dear, they're all alive. Stay. Right, so here we go. I'm going to put the heat gun on. It is important to bring it to a good temperature because this is a very quick process. So I'm just going to bring it in, bring it up to the candle and apply the heat, and as you can see, I hope, the design on the paper is becoming bold through the melting wax. or through the greaseproof paper as it melts into the wax, I should say. So I'm going to bring it up around. Now this is an all-around candle, so it's a little bit different from what Mel did, but essentially the technique is identical. Now having got this far, I'm now going to just roll it onto my little mat here to smooth it out. I'm going to peel off what I've done so far. What I need to be able to do is grip this greaseproof paper as it goes around, but look at that. It's all soaked in around the candle so nicely. I might have to do a little bit of trimming afterwards, but I'm going to go ahead anyway and now do the bit that hasn't yet been embossed onto the candle. And again, it's about finding a nice smooth surface to work from, because any wrinkles do affect the application of the papers. So we'll bring it up to temperature again. Bring it all around. It doesn't matter if you go over an area that you've already done at this stage. It's better to be getting it all inclusive than to miss it. Anything that you miss, you can go back in and sort out. So I'm just going to start again and see how far around the candle I've gone. But first of all, I just want to smooth out these edges to make sure they're nicely anchored. And then peel off the backing paper very, very carefully, like so. And I think I've actually got all the paper around the candle. I've actually used a Martha Stewart punch on the top here, but it's not terribly visible, but I'm quite happy with how it looks. I think I might have missed some there, so I need to go back in again. Same thing. You can do this as many times as you need to get it finished. Just watch your fingers, because it will bite if you're in the heat line of heat too long. I think that's maybe got it. I hope so. Okay, that's not too bad at all. So that's how I'm leaving that one. The next phase is to decorate. So I've got some very tiny, it's about 6mm organza ribbon. Decide which is the front and the back of your candle. And I'm going to bring that in and bring it to the front here, because I need 2 pairs of hands. The film crew is going to pop the glue on for me. Thank you. Bring that round. It is super glue, so you need to be careful. And what I'm also applying to this one, but I'm asking the film crew to do it away from the camera, is some bling string which will go through the centre of the ribbon, and then that will close up, and this glorious stick pin will be around. Oh, you can do it on camera, Gary, do it. Sorry, he's just going to pop this in the centre with a little bit of the extra strong glue, which may or may not hold it, but that's the idea of then popping in the pin. I think your head's in the way, Gary. You're not in shot.
No, it's all right. I'll get this round. Oh, once the glue's stuck. Got it. Glue's stuck. Little drop of glue. Round and in.
And then the stick pin will actually go and this is another thing I can't do because of my hands, but he's going to press the pin directly into the body of the candle, and that will help keep the chain or bling chain around it.
And just put a couple of drops in strategic places. Yeah.
So then you have your little drops of glue here and there, nothing too much because you don't want to spoil the overall effect of this being through the centre of the ribbon. And there you have a really very beautifully decorated candle for not too much money. Clearly, if you wanted to, you could use ribbons, you could use pearls, you could use anything at all that you wanted to complete the process, but I think it really does look very, very nice indeed. It's a bit squiggly there, and I'll alter that once we've finished filming. You can see it's kind of wobbly and up and down, but that can be remedied, but you get the idea of the overall effect, and it just does make such a beautiful gift to add to Christmas stockings or for birthdays or special occasions, because you can personalise them and make them look really, really beautiful. So I'm going to leave that one back there. We will bring them all back in at the end, because now I want to show you the same process really, but using the tissue, the serviettes. Now this is a triple layer serviette. As you can see, I've fussy cut very, very loosely. Having taken the two back layers off now, you can see the whole design. I've fussy cut very, very loosely all around the image that I want to put onto the candle. I've got a large pillar candle here. Again, it's making up your mind where you want it to land on the candle, and once you've got that in place, all you need to do then is wrap it into your grease proof. You will find that you need to change this because it does collect particles of the candle wax, and again, you don't need that underneath the design that you're trying to transfer onto the candle. You hold this up in a strategic place really, really tightly. I'm probably going to have to do this in 2 visits again with the heat gun, because it's quite a large image, but I'll start at this end and work my way around. Again, it's heating up your heat gun and watching the transformation take place as the wax melts behind the image and draws it actually into the body of the candle. It's very, very lovely. Here comes Mr. Snowman. I'm sorry about all the noise, but there's no other way to show you otherwise how this works. You can use any napkin, and we've all got a lovely stash because so many people send them as part of racks and that kind of thing, so I know I'm not alone in saying that there will be lots of serviettes available, I'm sure, to crafters. I'm just going to roll that off again. I'm finding myself shouting, I do apologise. roll it on the flat surface. Peel it off very carefully. At this stage, if you've missed any areas, it will be visible. I need to come back and do that foot bit again there, look. But it's nearly there, so I will peel that off, and you can see I've got a couple of bits down here, and then I've got this other snowman to put into the mix, so we'll just go back and do that. And here we go again with the gun. Roll it again. Peel off this very carefully. Now this is not particularly vibrant colours at the start, so I was going for that older used look rather than the really vibrant colours that you'd get in the actual serviette with all the backing and everything on it. You see the colours do vary, so you need to bear that in mind as you go along. I'm going to invite the film crew in again because I've got my famous stick pin and a little silver heart here that I'm going to ask Gary to just put into where the other heart is, just above it. It does take quite considerable force to do this. You do need strong hands. But Gary is very good and very supportive of all my crafty trials and tribulations, we'll say. But I think that has come out so well. There's a bit of extra wax there, which I will, when it's cool, try and peel back. But again, I should put a little tiny bit of ribbon around. I may even go daft and put a little bit of Mod Podge on, but I want to try that off camera. Not having done it, I'm afraid that it may not sit very well with the wax in situ. But again, it really is such a lovely thing to do. You can really personalise lovely gifts for people and just put your little handmade buy on, and it really is so effective. I'll just do this last one with you, although the process is identical without a shadow of a doubt, but it does give you 3 different images, and therefore you can physically see that you can use whatever image pleases you at the outset. Now I fell in love with this. It's a very plain image to do. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to try and use that same piece of, I think it'll be alright because it wasn't all the way around the candle. And this is purely as a standalone image. And again, what I thought was stickles on the cone or something of that nature, just to liven it up a little bit and bring it more into a crafter's delight. So here we go, I'm starting here, as you can see. You really do need to hold the waxed paper very tightly to make sure that everything stays in place and doesn't move around too much. If you overdo it like I did on the Santa one, you will find that you have greasy patches of wax through, but on a larger image I think you can't really avoid that to some extent. And this is taking quite a lot of heating, so I'm hoping it will come out nicely. It's all trial and error at the end of the day. You know, some images will work, some won't. I think that's, oh no, I've missed a bit here, look. I'll just try and roll that so that it all stays, whilst it's still warm, in place. This rolling is something that you really can't afford to forget. I've missed a bit there because it's creased. I think I'm getting... I might have to go back in, but I'm anxious for this not to run on too long. But you just then peel your paper off. And I just think that's absolutely gorgeous. I've got a couple of places there with wax that's come through. But I think, you know, I'll try and pop some of the Mod Podge on. This is the glossy Mod Podge, which would just add another Christmassy dimension to it, if that's what you were looking to get. And I just really want to put it on the cones here, just splodge it over with no real rhyme or reason, in the hope that when it dries it will just glitter up the cones and make them look a bit more festive. It does seem to take it, which is a bit of a surprise, because I really did think I might be on a hiding to nothing with the wax base there, but it really is just about splodging it about and letting it work for you, rather than being overly concerned and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do that because I don't paint or what have you. At the end of the day, it is a handmade gift that you're giving to someone that you like or care about hugely and want to please. So perfection in handmade goodies is not really something that you will achieve unless you are absolutely super duper at all this craft stuff. But there it is. When it dries, I'm hoping that the glitter in the Mod Podge will come into its own. It's already starting to. I'm just worried that it may well smear and cause a problem. But if I put these just onto here so you get a different background with it, how lovely are they? Really and truly, for special gifts, for family members, friends. Is it better if I lie them down? No? So thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope you will check out Melissa's tutorial. She did a wonderful, wonderful job. I will try and put a link under this video to let you just go along and see her channel. Her Stampin' Up is outstanding, and she does all these wonderful things as well. So thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope I've inspired you. Take care everyone, and thank you to the film crew. Bye bye.